I've been
Are we filming?
I've been ranting
We've been
lately
live.
about things that agents keep posting that I just don't feel like they should be posting because what is it teaching our buyers? And I saw one last night. This one
One of my
posted-
new favorite segments, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate all 11 people who watch these.
I watched it.
Well, this is one I'll probably do a longer video on. But this one that I've seen about 5 or 6 agents post, and this one came from NAR. It is a share of percentage of first-time home buyers, and it says profile of a first-time home buyer. 40 is the median age. 50% are married couple, 25% are women, 10% are single man. 32% had children under 18. What is the reason that an agent feels as though they need to share this? Like, because all it's saying is, oh, you're a first-time home buyer? Don't worry about buying a home in your 20s and 30s and gaining equity. Wait until you're 40 because
Yeah.
that's what everyone else does, and you want to do what everyone else does, right?
I think it's great data for us, as far as getting a feel for, like, who our clients are. I actually saw that and, keeping it internal because I agree with you as an agent. Like, why does the consumer, what value does that provide them? It's like little to none. We did a podcast where I talked about how you saw the percentage on there, more women buy homes than men. So it's like knowing your demographic, especially if you're going first-time home buyers and stuff. And it does kind of bum me out that 40 is the new median age of a first-time home buyer.
Especially since the last time they gave that stat, it was like 33.
I think it was 36.
That's
Still.
crazy that it went up that much
Yeah.
when home prices have, on average, gone down.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the prices or the
I think it
rates.
has everything to do with the economy.
It could. I mean, you think that 40-year-olds are the rate or the age has gone up because people can't afford or because they don't want to buy?
Oh, to me, I think the age has gone up because people are having more trouble saving the money for the home, or their job is not paying them enough.
Interesting.
Or they travel a lot because they want to be influencers.
That's what I
To
said.
me, if you're traveling a lot, it makes more sense to own your home because to me, if I'm renting something and then I'm traveling, it's like, man, I'm just wasting this money
But
on
you're
rent.
spending
Ooh, I like
all
that.
the money, though. I mean, you need the money to travel.
Yeah,
You
I
have to
said
get
it's like
there, you
there's so
have
much
to
value
pay.
that's put on travel through social media. And there's a guy that I can't even think of who it is, but he did a video similar to what you do, but not with real estate, where he like basically makes fun of influencers, where he says that all people do is just travel to like the Disneyland section of countries and then they claim that they're like so traveled, but at the end of the day, they like go to the part of the country
That's
that's
easiest to get to.
well, and like totally touristic and everything like that. And it's like, oh, I travel. Look at I've been to all of these countries, but like, what part of that country? It's like going to New York City and acting like you saw all of America.
Oh, I got another thought on this. What I can't stand is when people are like, I want to go to blank city, country, but I don't want to do the touristy things. I don't want to look like a tourist. I'm like, you're a different color than the people there. Like, people in Japan.
No one will know.
The people in South Korea know that you are not from there by your whiteness
Right.
and English speaking.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
if you want to, I can't name a single landmark of South Korea. I'm not sure why they use that as my example. But if you want to see the Eiffel Tower in France, you damn well go to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
I think the reason that people don't get or aren't pushing to get homes as early as it used to be is it's like our generation is full of late bloomers in a way, and even if it's not actual, it's what we're conditioned to think of, like, hey, like, you have time to figure it out. You can take chances. You can try the startup thing. You can mess around. You can, nowadays you can play video games for a couple years, maybe make a little bit of, right? But it's like, there's so many different ways that people can try to make something early, and then we're taught that, hey, it's okay. And we don't think about it long term. We're not thinking 10 or 12 or 15 years down the road. But I was talking to a contractor today, and he's got a couple of boys that are in high school, and he's like, they just don't have the awareness. And I'm like, 100%. Like, we were told, early on, like, hey, you don't have that long. You got to kind of get your shit together.
Yeah.
But then you kind of get to the point where you should be getting it together, and then everybody's telling you, hey, you got time to figure it out. You just, just take your time, do what you want to do. And, like, that has then spiraled to where you have a lot of people who are, 28, 30, 35. Then they're starting to really try to get to the point where they're trying to buy something.
And
Yeah.
it's the same with like finding a partner for life. It's later as well. If you meet someone, and usually I think it's like a woman who pushes the guy, like, hey, we need to settle in, we need to start a family, we need to find a house, and this happens later now too, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
I also think usually women are the nesters who want to have that life, and this is a factor that they can control is purchasing their home. They can't really control when they're going to find someone to marry them.
But I think for sure the pressure has been off of that part too. Like think of all the people, coming back from the baby boom, right? It's like they were just happy to be alive. All they wanted to do was start a family and buy a house and live that American dream. And our American dream was travel or see the world or, start some crazy online e-commerce business and drive a Ferrari at 22. And so people go out and try to do that. And their priority is not on starting a family. It's way easier to say, oh, I don't need to buy a house. It's just me. Like, I don't even have a dog. I'm just a single person, no partner, anything. Like, why do I need to spend all this money to buy a house? On the other side, it's like, hey, like, we have 2 kids. We're married. Like, why haven't we bought a house, right? And so because, that's maybe not so much causation, but there's definitely correlation between that and maybe even
what about the investment opportunity side of things? That's the part for me that I feel like, for whatever reason, is just totally lost, where just purchasing, you see the videos of there's going to be a housing market crash, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. I've even seen things as bold as saying, like, the next 2008's coming, right? Well, I was in the housing market as a homeowner during that timeline, and I got a buddy of mine specifically, Mike Dewar, who bought his first home in 2006, right? So in 2006, you're 2 years before the crash, and he purchased that property for $156,000, and he was basically underwater on that property for like 5 years after purchasing it. And it was all doom and gloom and everything like that. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter. And flash forward, he sold that house a few years ago and made a ton of money on that property. In fact, he even paid it off before he sold it because he owned it for like 15 years. And so the point I'm trying to make is that when people are like, oh, the housing market's going to crash, it's going to be like '08, I would love to ask somebody, hey, I'll give you 2 choices. Would you rather buy a house in 2006 or 2026 when the housing market crashes, right? Like, I'm here to tell you, like, even if the housing market crashes, it's not going to crash to a point where, like, you're going to buy a home for $156,000. It's not going to happen. You could debatably argue maybe you're going to get a better deal next year or the year after or whenever this crash that people have been talking about for how long now? How long have you been in the business, and how long have you been hearing about it going to crash?
I started 10 years ago, and I've been hearing about it since.
Right.
And I feel like we have had a couple blips where...
Right. But it hasn't, like, been a crash. And I guess what I'm getting at is, like, when I talk to people about home ownership, the number one thing that I focus on more than anything is, yeah, I think it's great to buy a home because you need a house for you and your partner, or you mentioned a dog or this and that. But, like, I don't know why we're getting away from the value of owning a home in regards to it being an investment. Unless you live I've said this, unless you live in your parents' basement for free, like, if you can afford to buy. I don't know anybody who got successful and started a business that goes, hey, I got all this money. What am I going to do with it? Not buy a home. So when I hear somebody trying to explain to me why they rent, and, like, it just makes no sense to me unless you literally, like, have no clue what you're doing for the next, like, year or 2.
Yeah, they want to be flexible.
Well, and that's
I
when it
hear a
goes
lot
back
of-
to the travel part, right? It's like,
No, like flexible job-wise too. Like, I'm gonna stay 1, 2,
that's
3
where I work from
years.
home. I want to travel.
I don't want to be grounded down.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, kind of spinning off of this, I feel like I would love to see the stats on when people start investing into their retirement plans if
That's a
their
good.
company is not doing it for them. Like, when do people get a financial advisor and start, taking 15% of their income and putting it towards their retirement? Because I would assume that's probably also around that same age.
40.
Because people are probably saying, oops, I am starting to get to the middle of my life. I need to start planning for this. So I feel like most of my generation, their retirement plan is death. Like, they're going to work until they can't work anymore, and they're going to die a year later.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have any other option. unless they have some parents
I
who
find,
die.
yeah, I was gonna say, I find most of
Parents,
your
yeah.
generation, their retirement plan is the death of their parents.
Yeah. I just
like-
wanted to
Which
say
is
the same
perfectly
thing.
reasonable. And that's a lot of people's retirement plan.
It's crazy. But I hear you.
Or you're like me, and half your parents are already dead, and
Yeah.
they didn't have no money to leave you, right?
Right.
Um,
My parents are gonna leave me with the bill, I think.
Gotta pick up somebody's tab.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Might
I'd
have
love to.
nothing to
That's a
leave
good
there.
point, though, Chase. I think that would be something that would be interesting because you're right. It's like if people were telling me that they were renting and not investing in real estate as even their primary residency because they were saving the money that they were, going to put toward a home, and otherwise, I guess that's that makes a little more sense. But unfortunately,
that would almost be a good excuse to not buy, at least.
Right.
Still may not be the best answer, but it's like, hey, I'm not dumping this money because I do want to keep it in a retirement or in a, in a investment fund of some kind. But if you don't have a house and you're not investing and you're literally just blowing all your money, like we went to a bar on 6th Street this weekend with some of Callie's friends, and I just asked the guy, it was the first time there, super awesome bar, skyline, all this, and I'm like, hey, like how much is a bottle? He's like, oh, $500 minimum. And like I just think about, back in college, people, it was always the biggest thing, oh, go and buy bottle services. But it's like there are people like still who probably make between 80 and 100,000 who will go out and drop $1,000 to go sit in a table at a bar that's crowded for a $500 bottle of Tito's. Like,
and scream at each other because they can't
Yeah.
hear each other.
God, that sounds horrible.
it's horrible. It's
My-
horrible. My
my-
$10 beer was bad enough, much less $500 on Tito's.
But you just
Like,
look so cool when they come out with the
they
sparklers
got-
on the bottle.
It was
Oh,
a selling
especially if your
point.
name's on the billboard.
We got the sign.
There it is.
Don't worry,
Oh,
we got
yeah.
the sign. I'm like, bro. I was like, I was just curious, never been here, just wanted to ask.
Mhm.
Dude,
Who are you
get me the
impressing?
hell out of here. Get me out of here.
Instagrammers.
Well, my last thought on this
Followers.
is I also feel like in this age we have the highest amount of average student loan debt to go with it because, I mean, I pretty much listen to Dave Ramsey religiously as if I'm a 60-year-old man. And, the baby steps would say you pay off your debt, then you buy a house, then you, then you start investing 15% of your income into your 401k and mutual funds and all that. So I think a lot of people are spending the years up until 40 still paying off their student loan debt, which that's
Well,
a
and that's
thought.
I think something that gets swept under the rug too much because it's not exciting. But this has been out for over a year now. Fannie Mae offers a refinance program where you can pay off your student loans with the equity of your home and not be what's the word? Like not be penalized as it being a cash out refinance. You can't pay off any other debt, but you can pay off your student loan debt. And I've only seen a few people take advantage of it, but it is a game changer. People just don't want to do it because
What did the rates look like on that?
we treat it as just a rate and term refinance. That's kind of my point.
Wow.
So, granted, if you're right now with us seeing interest rates in the 6% range, I encourage everyone with student loans to find out if you're paying over 6% on your student loans and you do have a home, it's kind of a no-brainer. And it sucks because I get it. You're paying off this debt that like you kind of feel like you shouldn't be penalized for to begin with. But if you're Dave Ramseying it, this is a vehicle and a way to get yourself out from underneath that debt. And if you don't have a home, that's not an option.
I mean, most of the time he would say don't take on debt to pay off other debt. But when people's student loan debt goes up to 28%, I mean, getting a
That's
HELOC at 8%
That's
isn't
it,
that
yeah.
unreasonable.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dave Ramsey is not totally wrong, but at the end of the day, it's not only about paying off your debt, but it's about getting your debt at the lowest possible rate. I mean, I have a lot of clients that come to me that have these large down payments that they want to put down on a property. I actually dealt with this today. I had a couple that had about $100,000 they wanted to put down, but they were carrying like $30,000 worth of debt. And I said, listen, guys, I just want to let you know, like, this is just my opinion. This isn't like facts, but if I were you, I'd put down $70,000 that you're financing at like 6% and pay off the $30,000 worth of credit cards. And they're like, yeah, you know what? That's a great idea. People tend to compartmentalize their debt as if it's like 3 separate buckets when all reality it's all just debt. And the idea is to get all of it at the lowest rate possible and then ultimately get it to zero by paying it all off.
all right, this is probably illegal, but you know,
I love it when
That's a great way to
conversations start. Go on.
student. I mean, I feel like I just discovered something. I mean, student loan debt you can't bankrupt yourself out of.
Right.
Your mortgage you can.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to use your program, basically take equity out of my house to pay off student loan debt, get a longer loan term, and then I filed bankruptcy and got foreclosed on.
Mm-hmm.
Did I win?
I mean, I
You're
think that
giving bad ideas.
I think that would be like short-term gains for long-term losses. You know, if you have a foreclosure on your record, you're definitely going to not be buying anything for like 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really feel like, you know, the student loan debt is choking you out to the point where you're not even going to be able to like get above water in a decade, then I guess maybe that might be a way to handle it. But I don't know. I would envision that there's probably
I
a
would
better.
take HELOC rather than.
So my TikTok has just been full for months, and I probably just eat up this type of content, so I'm just enjoying it maybe. But it's a mix of women crying in their car because they're unemployed, and women crying in their car because they have too much student loan debt. And like I'm seeing videos where these women are carrying like it's always women crying in the car. Men don't film videos of themselves crying in the car about these things. I'm sure they do privately, but. Like we're talking like $150,000 plus of student loan debt at a 28% interest rate. Like you can pay $1,000 a month on this for the rest of your life and never even touch the principal.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's the kind that I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, this is again just my opinion. I definitely think that student loan debt is something that you should be able to file bankruptcy on. I mean, if you know you're going to take a back seat on a bankruptcy, and of course it would have to be a Chapter 7 and not a Chapter 13, which obviously the difference is like one's kind of a payment plan, the other one's just like throwing up your hands and saying fuck it. Chapter 7 bankruptcy is going to hold you back from purchasing a property for, you know, anywhere between 3 to 7 years as well. But you know, if you really feel like crying in your car because you have $150,000 worth of student loan debt, I mean, I think it is kind of wild that you can't file bankruptcy on student loan debt, but you can file it on anything else.
But isn't it another reason for you to purchase a house because you can't qualify with student loans, right? Isn't it a program where they calculate percentage of whatever you have to pay?
Yeah, I mean,
And then just sit in a house for 10 years, get the equity, and then maybe do the refinance or HELOC and then pay them off.
it's definitely a great vehicle to pay off the student loan debt for sure.
Like, it's another reason to buy a house.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm definitely not a big believer in just student loan debt being forgiven, but if you want to crush your credit for a few years and get the slap on the wrist, I think that's fair. Right? I don't think anyone should take on debt and be able to get away with it scot-free. I mean, that's just my opinion, but yeah, as long as there's a penalty. And
I guess if you were to get a debt consolidation loan to cover your student loan debt and then you filed bankruptcy on that loan.
yeah,
That's probably less hoops to jump through.
I agree. I feel like that's much easier.
yeah, you could
I
definitely
would
you
rather
could do
pay
that.
it off than.
But that would require you to be on time with your student loans and, you know, paying things on time. And that's kind of the irony that we see with credit, right? There's always like, oh, wow, that's a great idea. And then the girl in the car with tears in her eyes goes, oh, I can't, no one's going to give me a loan. I have a 400 credit score because the student loans are killing me. And it's like, well, and those student loan companies, like if you're behind on your payments and everything, I see people with $150,000 worth of student loan debt, for example, that their minimum monthly payment on stuff like that's only like $500 a month because they're actively working with the loan company saying, hey, like, here's my income. I cannot afford to pay X amount of dollars on this. And, you know, that's, yeah, it's like anything, man. It's, you know, you just, there are definitely people with student loans that aren't doing anything about it and it's destroying their credit. And there's people in that same boat that have student loans and they're working and negotiating with the banks and their credit doesn't suck and they can buy homes. And yeah, maybe they could turn around and consolidate that and get out from underneath it. But all of that requires work and time. And that seems to be something that people don't like.
I think that's always a good thing is if you're going to borrow money from somebody, at least work to pay it off.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you at least do that part, you'll catch a break. You know, like I'm helping a lady who's been behind on her mortgage for over a year, but she stays in contact with the loan people. She's like, hey, I'm working, I'm trying, I'm doing my best.
We're
And
actively
they-
making offers on our house.
Yeah, and they keep.
How is that going?
Horrible.
We get a response, and then all of a sudden it's crickets for.
Just wants
A
more
week.
money, or we don't know. Okay.
We don't
I
even-
mean,
we don't
she,
even get
she
a-
used
we don't
James
even-
as a booty call last week.
We don't even. I
She
got a
said,
good
"Hey,
morning.
handsome."
Got a good morning.
I got a good morning, and that was it. That was the only text. I'm like,
Just good morning.
that was it. I was like, hey, like, good morning. What can I help you with? Zero response. It's like, what?
She's like,
It's like those videos
Like,
that are
it's
so true. You
insane.
know, like you see those videos where the car pulls up. He's like, "Hey, can I see this house?" It's like, "Yeah, sure." Good morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
I put one of my rentals on Facebook Marketplace to try to get some more bodies in the door. The amount of, "Is this still available?" Me immediately respond back, "Yeah, are you interested? Can I schedule a tour?"
no response.
They read it. Nothing.
Yep.
That's so weird.
Anything you put on marketplace is like,
I think they're
that.
just bots. Yeah, I don't think they're real people.
That's interesting. I never even thought about that.
it's
I've been
like
selling a
one
lot on
click.
Facebook
I mean, if you
Marketplace.
see the ad, you just click once, like, is it still available? Or, yeah, is it still there or whatever? And that's it. Like, people don't go back and see
Most people
your
don't go
response.
into their marketplace messenger archive.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my truck online for sale for a couple months now, and I'm probably 800 messages deep on it. But I
wild.
can't answer any of them without a title. Thank you, Reliant Pest Management, for selling me a truck without a title.
How is this possible? Because it's
You
like,
can call them at Reliant Pest Management. The guy's name is Gus.
Active shots fired.
if he handles everything else, like,
That's a fleet manager. Hardly, because he doesn't come to work or answer the phone.
Why don't you go get a salvage title?
Because you have to get a bond for it. It's a big effort.
Yeah.
I would rather just drop the truck off in their front yard
Wow.
and then come in there with a gun. Like, I don't know.
I mean, what do you think the difference you would make though in the car price if you had the salvage title versus no title?
Probably not much.
Really? I mean, I honestly
don't
don't
know.
know.
I mean, who would buy without title?
We should ask ChatGPT that.
How did you
Yeah, I don't
buy
know,
without
just-
title?
Well, in cash. And I was signing the back of the thing thinking, I mean, it's still not registered in my name. The truck hasn't been registered since 2022.
Because like CarMax, what about them? Will they even deal with it?
They will for $1,200
Yeah, because then they got to do all the work to do the salvage
Yeah,
title,
so-
and then they have to sell it with the salvage title.
for probably $6,000. Yeah. But it's not worth it to me.
So you're going to try to reach.
You know what
Gus.
you need? You need
Still
an
trying to reach
assistant
Gus.
that can go in and do all of the legwork that is required to get a
Assistant
salvage
is
title.
a very sore topic today.
Stop it.
I just feel like if you had, this person to help you out with kind of, the things that you shouldn't be doing that are below your pay grade, right? Like,
I agree.
it's, I don't know.
I agree. Sore topic today. Anyway, you have
Switching the
topics, right?
topics. Yeah, what
We only
else
got
can
45
talk?
more minutes left. So
Okay.
it's-
Oh, 45?
Oh, James has to show house for me at 5:30. 'Cause, again, assistant
Yeah.
issue.
I get it.
So
You have any topics? I don't want to railroad this entire thing. We've covered about the average home buyer and everything. Is there anything that you've
I
been
just came in
experiencing
with a-
lately that
I mean, the only thing that I remember is because my client did say, we went to Chicago.
mm-hmm.
We traveled. We spent the money. We have nothing for down payment.
Really? That's a thing? Somebody said that to you?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's Chicago of all places.
I know.
It is a pretty small down payment.
Yeah.
They just spend. I don't know what they do. I don't know if they go to expensive restaurants or what can you do there. And
I
spend
want
all-
the deepest dish you
Spend
can
the
make.
money.
Deep dish pizza. It's like,
12K on a trip
I'm
to
just-
Chicago.
I was
Wrigley
just
Field right
saying.
behind home plate.
so I have been on the phone the last few weeks with a couple of what I would consider to be pretty big agents, and I'm very surprised to hear two things that I've been hearing a lot lately. So I always talk about themes that I'm hearing. Number one, I'm hearing that a lot of agents are saying, gosh, I feel like I'm so busy lately. I'm having conversations with clients. I'm actually showing homes. Some of them are even writing contracts. And they're like, but I just don't have anything in escrow. Y'all are agents. Is anybody kind of feeling that? Like where you're doing a lot of work, you're having a lot of conversations, you're just not seeing things actually come to fruition?
No urgency.
I'm having a lot of conversations with my active sellers
Right.
because they're calling me.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're asking you why it's not selling.
They're asking me where the buyers are.
For
What-
sure. I mean, I have the most listings that I've had in my business, and the worst time to have listings since I've been born, probably. You know, maybe
turn.
maybe not so, maybe
Yeah.
not worse than '08 or that '08 to 2010 market, but
Keep stacking them.
I was on this side of a conversation that I was on the flip side a couple of weeks ago. So I had a listing, been on the market, got an offer before we could even counter on the first offer. Buyer pulled the offer, didn't want to do it. Then we get a second offer. Oh my God, been on the market 6 months, 2 offers in 3 days. Let's go. Go to counter the second offer, and the buyer says, "Hey, we're gonna pull the offer altogether. No middle ground. No, you take this, we'll give you that, etc." Well, today I got to be on the buyer agent side of that and go to a listing agent and say, "Hey, like I'm sorry, like we made the offer. I know you countered, but they've just thought a little bit further, and there's just a few things that they're not willing to compromise on. And then two, I don't know if it adds just a layer of complexity to a buyer's psyche of what they want to do. But I had to tell the guy like, hey, I'm sorry, but we're just going to pull the offer altogether. So I think that's just a testament to one, the kind of inventory that we have gives buyers paralysis by analysis in a sense. I also think with so much buzz and everything going on social media and the news, nobody wants to make a bad financial decision in a very uncertain time. And I think that definitely has weight for a lot of people. There are people who are totally, risk tolerant. They don't care. They're going to do what they want no matter what happens, no matter what's going on outside. But
Those people seem to do pretty well.
yeah, but
I'm serious.
There's a lot of
I'm
people
Dead
who-
serious in real estate. The people
Who
I
take the
rarely
risk?
see people that don't. I rarely see people that take risks and they're calculated, but they're taking on risks that. I mean, I'm the guy on the finance side that looks back and goes, "Oh, I got to foreclose on this property or whatever." Like, it's
Oh, I heard it as the other way. Yeah, I thought you thought the successful people were the ones that never pull the trigger.
no.
Yeah.
Quite the opposite.
Oh, I agree. The risk
Yeah.
takers, yeah.
Mhm.
Fortune favors the brave.
Yeah,
bold. Fortune favors the bold.
bold, brave, whatever. It's
So
kinda the
Do they
same thing.
just like get cold feet? Like why are they even going through the trouble to submit an offer and then just to pull it a day later? Just-
I think that the problem, you get this counter and then you start going back and forth, and then the buyer thinks a little bit more through the deal, right? Up front they're like, hey, great square footage, great neighborhood, price is great, it's all looking good. And then you get that first counter, and then you kind of have to go through and check every other box again. It's like, okay, well, it is a nice neighborhood, but it's not quite the area we wanted. And well, it doesn't have gas, and we wanted gas up front. We were thinking about it, but now that we are double checking, right? I'm Santa Claus. I'm checking my list and checking it twice or whatever.
Mhm.
It's like now that I had to double check, it's like, well, like maybe that is a little bit more. And I think we're just in a market where and I think it's true in any time in any topic or whatever. If you look for a problem, you're gonna find one.
Yeah.
If you look for a reason not to do it, you'll find one.
Sorry,
And just-
I don't understand.
We got Siri.
Yeah,
doesn't understand.
she's listening to you.
Not mine.
So I think that's just what it is, right? I mean, it's just you have so much inventory, you have so much availability that you don't feel the rush to take a chance on something that isn't absolutely blowing your socks off. And I think that's just
But can we avoid it as an agent? Can we maybe, I don't know, train our buyers or just ask them to think more about, because we put like the seller in a weird situation, right? Like we like give them hopes. Okay, we're gonna get something. We're gonna sell your house. He's already planning like farther, like what can I do, whatever. And now that we're pulling it.
I told you my solution. I think that's the only solution because these particular buyers, I know who he's talking about. They've been looking now for, almost 2 years? I mean, we're going to be going on
Over a
2
year,
years in the
yeah.
spring market. And so the problem is that they have been looking at houses that have been on the market for months and months and months and months. I mean, the validation of this house isn't going anywhere. they have lived that.
It's palpable.
Yeah, they've lived it. So they're like, what's the rush? You know, when we're like, hey, you know, this house might not be here anymore, it kind of is a bad look when 4 months go by and they're like,
Still there.
still there, right? So who's right, you or them? And that basically turns into, okay, well, you know, I'm going to do it this way. I obviously know what I'm doing because these houses aren't moving. And the moment that you see homes that you looked at as a buyer fly off the market and you go, shit, man, we kind of like that one. Boy, that one's gone. Okay, let's look at this one. I'm not feeling it. 30 days later, gone. That's what it takes to move the market. And so that's why my whole theory behind this is the sooner you agents get better with your listings and getting buyers to, you know, getting these people that have listings out and looking, and then furthermore, accepting offers based on a home buying contingency, you're just not going to move real estate effectively. It goes back to my analogy of buying a car, right? Like every time, unless it's your very first car, when you buy a car, you have a car to trade in, and you never, ever buy, not ever, but very rarely buy a brand new car without knowing what the trade-in value of your current car is, right?
Yeah, I think that's the first step you do. You go and
Exactly.
you check, like, how much do I get for my car so I can purchase more expensive car.
Right. So, you know, hypothetically, if you have a listing and you're not getting any offers, there's no harm in reducing your price to the lowest price in the neighborhood, accepting that offer, and turning around and saying, hey, we're going to accept your like super low ball offer, but it's contingent upon us finding a home in the next 30 to 60 days. Right. So now the buyer feels like, hey, we got this fucking phenomenal deal on the hook. Every home in this neighborhood's listed at $500,000. We just got it under contract for $450,000. So they feel good about it. When in reality, we all know what the caveat is that you're not getting that offer until the sellers find a house. But now it allows the sellers to go out and say, okay, we don't have to find a house. We could blow this deal up in 60 days if we really, really want to. But now you at least know exactly what you're getting on your trade-in for your car, and you're shopping with confidence, knowing what you're getting, knowing that you have your house already under offer. And if you kind of go, man, I'm not willing to sell my house for $450,000 to get into any of this bullshit, you can blow up the deal. And the buyer's on the hook going, we're getting this house for $50,000 under ass. Like, maybe.
I would want to look a little deeper into the home buying contingency just to see and make sure that's viable before I would pitch that. But to answer your question,
You talk to your broker.
yeah, I'll talk about it. I think it's just where us as agents have to do what we hate doing the very most, and that's be patient with people who are working through their own lives, because I try to put myself in the shoes of buyers, and you know, yes, we're in a sales position, but we're also this pseudo life counselor and helping people through something that they're only going to do every couple of years, you know, maybe once a decade. And especially in a time where the last thing we want to do is lose a client, that's where I think we just have to be patient and let people go through their process. Of course, time is of the essence in real estate. We all know that from the very beginning. If there's something you'd like to jump on it, and you know, I think this is short term. I don't think we'll have this luxury for very long, but in the current market, our buyers kind of have the ability to be a little patient, and that sucks for us, especially for listing agents, and especially if you have a buyer who's being super picky. But that's, you know, that's the game that we're in the short term, you know. And if you go and rush somebody to do something that they don't have their whole heart in, yeah, you may get that one deal, but they're going to feel it. And if they end up proving you wrong, right? Like, oh man, you know, the house that we were looking at, it's still available 6 months later, and now our dream house came on the market. Well, we really wish we wouldn't have bought this one, but you kind of told us to. Like, that's way worse than you waiting for a little while to get the commission.
But I'm not saying like to push them to purchase. I'm saying like not even going through the
The
submitting
offer
an
part.
offer so you can pull it back a day later. Like, why don't you get all the information up front and maybe think about it for 2 days or whatever, how much time you need, before we even go and submit an offer to the seller where we're like, hey, we're willing to purchase it, and then we decide to pull it.
Because writing the offer is the hardest part.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that. A buyer, the most difficult part about writing the offer is actually writing the offer. And then once they finally do that, I mean, Chase talks about this all the time.
I love this. I will convince buyers to make a lowball offer just to get them comfortable with using the signing app.
It's like riding
You
a
know?
bike. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
And because once they've signed one, for some reason, it's just so much easier for them to sign further ones.
Of your listings that y'all have, what percentage of those listings is a buyer who is selling their primary residency and is planning on moving into another home? Or are they all like investment properties? I know for you, like almost all of them are investment properties, right?
Not investment properties, but they're not.
Yeah, but the
The one
one,
is moving away to different state, and the
Yep.
other one was an investment property. Yeah.
right. So you don't have any listings that are somebody who is like, okay, as soon as this
But I have
thing,
potential clients who are thinking
Mhm.
about upgrading, and
Mhm.
this is what I want to pitch to them, because they're like, but I don't want to wait till my house sells. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I want to have this bigger house because we are like growing out of this one. We are getting
Yeah.
more children, whatever. Like, and this is where I need to meet with them and just give them the idea of like, let's list your house, and then if we get the buyer, we go start looking for
yeah,
a
and we'll
new
let
home.
them know we have 60 days, and if it doesn't
Exactly.
work out, then they can't buy the house anymore.
Mhm.
I think that a buyer that is, number one, already bought a home is a lot easier to deal with. And number two, a buyer who has an offer that's basically, again, they know exactly what they're getting for the sale of their property. I feel like that's someone way easier to deal with than a buyer that doesn't own a home, who's never owned a home, and clearly has no sense of urgency.
I'm working with one of my easiest buyers right now. I'm doing the final walkthrough in a few minutes. It's a second-time home buyer. So much easier than
Yeah.
the first-time home buyers. Doesn't ask any questions. Buys a bigger house for more money.
And gets it.
Did you help him to buy the first one?
No,
Oh,
no,
damn.
no.
I wanted to know like
Success favors the
how
bold.
how different are they?
2 of my listings are sell and then buy.
Mhm.
And there's definitely more pressure there to retain as much equity as possible because people want to maximize their investment going into the next one. One of them, they're selling to kind of reconsolidate, probably going to rent, pay off some debt, get back in the swing. And then 2 of them are investment.
Yeah, the investment ones are tough.
See, but in this case, one of the ones that I have is probably the most pleasant seller that I've worked with, simply because you find it rare that someone understands that, and it's so common sense, but there's not a lot of common sense to go around. It's ironic. If I will sell it for less money, I should be able to sell it faster. And we tell people all that all the time. Hey, if it says 325, if you list it at 300, it'll go faster. If you list it at 275, it'll go even faster. People don't hear that, and this person basically came to me and was like, I want to sell this house. I want it to be light speed. Tell me what it's worth, on the market in the best shape. Okay, hey, it's probably around 325. He's like, cool. We were kind of thinking 275. We want to leave some meat on the bone for the next person. It's going to need some work. We don't want to hold this property very long. We want to get it offloaded. And it's like, that's, I think, is super refreshing to have someone who's understanding the macro of the real estate game of like, you can't put no money into it to try to do a pseudo stage or whatever and expect to get the most out of it. It's like, put a little bit, clean it up, and then give someone else the margin to go and make the next deal. That's the only way to accelerate a timeline. Like, you can't ask for the highest price if you're not going to put any work into it. You just can't. They didn't. So thankful there.
If someone said that to me where I want to get it sold fast and I don't care if I'm taking a price cut, I'm writing them an offer right there at our consultation.
Yeah.
Be like, this is a price if you want to sell it to an investor.
Accelerate, meow.
And I'm going to say, what's the ARV times 70%? Here's your offer.
Right.
That being said, would love to buy his house for like $225. I haven't looked at comps yet, so $275
Look at the
might not
comps.
be unreasonable. I just haven't looked.
We'll talk about it.
You guys have anything else you want to cover? I know we had to cut this one short.
Is there anybody who you think is more busy than an apartment leasing manager?
D. Garza at the Anderson, if you're listening.
I thought you were talking about your pest control guy.
No, the fleet manager for a pest control company.
You talking about Gustavo?
Yeah, I'm talking about you, Gus. Gus at Reliant Pest.
What do you think? Let's
I
just,
feel like that's an ad for them now.
You did.
just to a bad ad. I guess no publicity is bad
Oh,
publicity.
wait, I had something last night.
Let's go.
So I got my house painted. This was probably 2023-ish. 5X painting company. I'm not sure if I recommend them or not. They were fine. They did their job. Like, there was nothing special about it, though. I got my house painted. And they have these door-to-door salespeople, and that's how I discovered them as well. But they had door-to-door salespeople that were coming around my neighborhood yesterday, not in any uniform. Like, we had an old white lady who's wearing, like, a ripped-up AC/DC T-shirt, and then she had this, like, younger guy with her, and you could tell they weren't friends. Like, they were work colleagues. And they're going door-to-door, and they're saying, yeah, we painted Chase's house, like, using my name and pointing at my house. And they see me, and they run past my house to the next one. And my neighbor across the street texted me. She said, are these your friends? I said, I don't know these people. She said they painted your house. I said, I guarantee those aren't the painters. So I took a run shortly after, and I caught them at another part of the neighborhood. And I said, hey, are y'all going around, like, pointing at my house, using my name, saying that you painted my house? And they're like, yeah, we did such a beautiful job on it. You know, we wanted to show it off. And I said, yeah, I mean, did I allow you to use my name and stuff? Because, like, I'm on the HOA board and stuff, and I've already had 2 neighbors complain about the solicitors and that I sent them. They're like, well, we're not saying that you sent us. And I said, well, look, there's nothing stopping you from using my name. I'm sure it's in the contract somewhere that I probably gave you permission. But if you're going to, I want some free work.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we've never had anyone complain like this. I'm like, I wouldn't even call this a complaint yet. I think this is an opportunity for collaboration. I'm a realtor. I know a lot of people who get housework done. I also flip houses myself. I've painted 3 houses in the last 2 years. I'm sure there could be more opportunity for us to work together. All I'm asking is I want my garage and my downspout painted. Y'all did them in one color, but I want a new color because I'm tired of black. I want copper and I want tan. Anyway. So I said, I would love for you to get me the manager, and I would like to talk about how we could collaborate. You know, you do $400 of free work, and I'd post a couple videos and send some recommendations.
There you go.
Nobody called me.
Nobody called. Bummer.
No deal. We're just going to keep using your name for free.
Yeah. I was thinking you were going with the whole, like, hey, Chase, the real estate agent, the local real estate agent in the neighborhood who, like, sells all the homes, we had painted his house, right? And that's free.
They should have added that.
They should have.
Now you've got people going door to door mentioning that they painted your house, Chase.
For someone who knows
from
about real
Chasing
estate.
Realty,
Really?
sells all the homes in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I should hand them a stack of business cards next
Yeah.
time. Hey, if you're going door to door, might as well.
And they don't
Yeah.
have to do anything for free. And they're already, spreading
They're
the word.
promoting for you. Damn
You're gonna
it.
have people
Instead,
start
they're just
knocking
doing
on-
the opposite.
Then you're really going to have people knocking on your door and being like, can you stop these people from coming to our house?
Spreading the word of Jesus Chase Christ.
That's an Instagram video for
Yeah.
later. Don't run from the Lord.
Jeez. What were you going to say, James?
I
You
was
had
only
something.
no. All I was saying, just to end it, who do you think's the most busiest, ironically busiest person in real estate? Like what
I know what you're
job
asking.
is like this person should easily be reachable at any point of any day. Yet every time that you call them, it's impossible. And then you leave a message, and you leave 5 messages. And then all of a sudden you get the call back. Oh my God, it's been 2 weeks. I'm so sorry. I've been so busy.
Insurance agent?
There are some that are non-responsive.
I feel like the answer is any property manager
Yeah.
because those people are impossible to get on the phone.
Well,
So-
To-
showings agents.
There are some.
Showings agents.
Showing
are
agent after
impossible to
they've
get.
done the showing
Yeah.
when you're calling for feedback.
Never. Text.
listing agents are pretty
Voicemails.
bad right now.
It's insane.
I don't know. I've been trying to get a pulse on who is truly busy, because I'm a big believer in, like, if our business is slow, like, where's other businesses busy? And, like, car sales I'm hearing is slow. Home sales, that obviously means appraisers, insurance agents, inspectors. I mean, everybody's really slow right now. And I find it interesting because I do think it really comes down to that standoff between these buyers and sellers, right? Like, buyers have all the time in the world. Sellers don't want to come down and even forget about accepting offers. They don't even want to list at something that is, below whatever everyone else in their neighborhood is listing at. And that's something I don't understand because I know all of the agents that I deal with are good agents. And, like, how does a seller not understand that just because you listed a specific dollar figure doesn't mean you have to accept the offer?
Oh, do I got one? So I'm about to cancel HomeBot because I don't really see the point. But I've had it for like 3 years now, and I probably have about 1,500 addresses on there.
Oh, wow.
And this man, I don't know this man, but he lives in Easton Park. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. I will. Anarandhada. He has his house in Easton Park. I sent him a CMA, and I said, I think your house is worth $549,000. It's pretty generous considering he bought it in the 300s a couple of years ago, in like 2018. And I said, hey, just send you an email to hopefully answer some of your questions. When would you like to meet? He said, just a thought, but 550 seems low. I'm traveling. Let's talk in WhatsApp. I don't know. I'm going through all this. Anyway, so I sent him some WhatsApp messages. He never answered those. Texted him again. He said it's too low. 585 to 600,000 is more reasonable. I said,
Based on what?
exactly. I said, I see. The neighborhood comps are saying 550. The tax assessment is saying 541. The Zillow's estimate is saying 505. Have you made any major improvements to the property since purchasing, such as maybe adding a pool? He said, Zillow always lowballs. And that's all right. I just didn't answer.
That's where we are.
But, it's funny. A couple of years ago, people were using their Zillow's estimate,
Estimates,
and they
yeah.
were saying, well, Zillow says it's worth this much. Now people just, if the Zillow's estimate doesn't match their expectations,
Exactly.
oh, no, everyone knows not to use Zillow. Now I might start bringing the Zillow's estimate back.
Anytime I hear conversations like that, though, all I think is like, what's the motivation, right? Like, if you were able to get this guy $600,000 for his house, would he legitimately even move, or would he kind of turn around and be like, well, I'm not really sure where I would go. Like, I always find that those conversations typically end that way, right? The motivation, from my experience, I mean, money's part of it, but and this goes back to what I'm saying about these sellers, like when you find somebody a new home that they want to move into, I mean, Sales 101 always says that a motivated buyer, there's nothing stopping them from buying. Like, when I find somebody who's under contract that finally is excited about their home, like every document I've been begging them to present to me for the last like 3, 6, 9 months.
All of a sudden comes in at once.
I mean, they're calling me like, are we good? Do you have everything? Are we good? It's like 7:30 in the morning. Like, are we good now? Are we good? Where like prior to, it was like they were just so swamped. Everything was, they're just so busy. They can't even get on the phone to have a 10-minute phone conversation. And so anytime I hear stuff like that, I'm always wondering, I mean, we'll never know, but it's like, great, we'll give you $600,000 for your home. Are you ready? And I bet you 80% chance he's like, well, I'm going to need to do a little more research. You're like, okay, now we know where you're standing, because I think this way about interest rates. I mean, I was complaining today. I saw an ad about a mortgage company that was advertising an interest rate of like 4.6%, which I know is either an ARM or it's like a 15-year term, or there's something about it that just doesn't smell right. And when we used to do refinance business, I mean, we would do ads like that. We'd call people up and they're like, I'm here to take advantage of the 4.5% interest rate. We're like, perfect. Go ahead with your date of birth. Go ahead with your social. We're going to do a credit check. I'm going to need you to just send in your pay stubs, your W-2s. And they'd go, whoa, 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 whoa. Is this real? I'm like, yeah, it's real. It exists. We can get it done. And these people are like, I got to think about it. And we knew right then and there it's nuts, right? Like it's absolutely crazy. And it's like, oh, so you didn't really call to take advantage of the offer. You called to discredit it and crumple up this piece of paper and throw it in the garbage and go, I fucking knew it. Which is what I guarantee. If you were like $600,000, done. Where do you need me to send the offer? He'd be like, well,
this morning at 9 a.m., I got a call from realtystore.com.
Ooh, the realty store.
And they said, we have buyer leads for you. What zip code do you work? And I said 78704. And they said, oh, great. Looks like there's only one other agent working there. We're offering you a free 14-day trial. If you don't like us, you can cancel, and we won't charge you if you cancel. I said, okay, seems reasonable. And I said, what info do you need from me? They said, your credit card number beginning with the digits. And I said, why do you need my credit card for a free trial? They said, well, we need a way to charge you if you choose to keep on. I said, if I choose to keep on, I'll be glad to give you my card then. And they said, well, that's not how we work. I said, well, call me back when you feel more confident in your product.
Yeah, I was there for that call.
Oh, I got another one this morning. It's the same thing every time.
Like, every time you take those calls, I'm like, God, he is brutal.
Well, I mean, it's and obviously they don't choose how their payment system works. But
I don't even take those calls.
look, I mean, us as realtors, we work for free until we produce a result.
That's true.
I can't think of any other occupation that does that.
Well,
Maybe
lenders,
insurance agent,
Lenders.
lender. Yeah. Okay.
insurance.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've
hear you.
been dropping this lately when I talk to people about being in real estate or getting into real estate or whatever. I'm like, you just have to understand that, like, especially right now, a good agent is going to get paid, because I think the average is probably most agents don't close at least one deal a month. It's like a good to great agent is going to get paid on 8 days of the year. That's it. Like, if you can't make it all in 8 days, then, think about that, right? Because, like, we're constantly working for free, and we can work for free for months and months and months, and then all of a sudden on one day, then we actually get a paycheck. Like, people don't think about that whenever they think about our compensation. Like, oh, no, you're making money, you got all these deals going, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, hey, like, even the best of us, right? A crazy killer agent maybe, gets paid like a normal person and gets 26 paychecks a year, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, that's like a normal, if you got paid every 2 weeks, you get 26. Like,
Mhm.
that's the best of the best,
Right.
right? That's 2 and, point whatever deals a month. Like, there's very few people that are still doing that in this market, so.
I saw this agent that posted the other day where it said I sent it to Matt. Okay, this girl, where is she located? Somewhere in one of the Carolinas. It doesn't matter. She said that. Oh, damn it, where's her numbers? Hold on. Year 1, 28 homes sold. Year 2, 86 homes sold. Year 3, 145 homes sold. Year 4, 160 homes sold. And year 5, 170 homes sold. It can be done.
It can.
I don't know what the hell she's drinking, but
You have a team.
Oh,
I've seen it.
So she said years 1 through 4 she was solo. No, that being
You still
said,
have a- you
technically some of
Yeah, define solo.
5 assistants and you're still solo,
Right.
but it can
I
be
mean,
done.
when we were at when we were at
I agree.
when we were at our sales thing. I mean, we were pulling production on some of the people who were on stage, and I realized that they were quoting production of like all-time production.
Like over 10 years.
Yeah, actually, I want to look her up on Homes.com.
So like, and then they're like, and so, $250 million, or
In
like
10
I was
years.
going to say, yeah, this guy's been in the business for 20 years.
right, like, and she's doing what? What's your production now? It's like 250 million. You're like 250 million. Then they'd be
Divided by
like,
10 years. It's like, 25.
oh, I get it. I
okay.
get it. It's like, it's still a decent number.
Mhm.
Like,
I would actually, when I look her up, I would love for her to have been lying on there.
But for lender, it's not
what's that?
25 million.
No, but yeah,
I mean, it's.
let's not hate. Anyways,
Oh, I'm going to hate on her.
we
if
have a
she's
we have a
lying.
networking event that we want to go to. We got a bunch of stuff to do. Does anybody have anything they want to say before we cut loose on this one? We just need to do more of these, not longer ones, right?
Yeah.
More?
All right, her name is Taylor Hunt, and while it's not the 600 she said, she did close 407 deals in the last 4 years. It's pretty good.
Pretty solid.
Maybe if she had a bunch of new builds that weren't calculated on here.
I mean, my ex-girlfriend does this all the time because I get all the alerts and everything. Everything goes
She's a
in her
looker.
name. Everything.
Everything is what?
It's
Everything
like a
goes
character
in her
from
name.
Shrek.
Ah,
Like everything. Even her husband's production. All of it.
And she's like, what, 5 agents?
I think she's up to like 6, yeah.
Yeah. If you have 6 agents,
And
in addition to you.
and you can even like
everything is
pull her
gone.
person or her
Yeah, I mean,
production.
you could be
and it
co-listing.
says it.
You could
yeah.
be co-listing agent on.
And then you're the only one who.
you don't even have to be on the team with somebody to be a co-listing agent.
Yeah.
Correct.
So. That's it?
It's
All
all
right.
optics.
Yeah.
Chase, you
Everything's
like
up
something to say?
No. I was going to bring up the conversation of us all getting a mentee, but
Yeah.
that's a whole other story.
Yeah, we'll save it for later, but that has to happen too.
Cool.
All right, y'all. Thanks. Good one.